I'm Macy Egland. Stepped up security in the city today after a terrifying scene at Penn Station. 6 people hurt in a mass stabbing, a day before thousands will head to neighboring Madison Square Garden for Game 3 of the NBA Finals tonight. Authorities say the attack unfolded around 7 o'clock last night. All of the victims were taken to the hospital and a suspect is in custody. No word on what led to that attack. Now, this all happened ahead of President Trump's planned MSG visit tonight. The Knicks say fans should expect TSA-style screening procedures, and there is a no-bag policy in place. All watch parties outside of the Garden have been canceled. A hunt right now for the suspects behind a North Bayshore shooting. Police say multiple people got out of a car on Stein Drive yesterday afternoon and started firing into another car that was carrying 4 people. A 21-year-old man was shot. Police say he survived. Well, good news for commuters. Service has been restored on the LIRR's Oyster Bay branch. The MTA says the line was shut down after Saturday's storms downed utility poles and trees that blocked the tracks. Now, those storms knocked out power for thousands of Long Islanders. PSEG Long Island crews have been working to restore it. At last check, about 500 customers were still in the dark. Several Long Island roads and bridges will be repaved and repaired this summer. The State Department of Transportation will be doing $146 million worth of repairs. Governor Hochul says the upgrades will not affect peak summer beach travel. The work will include fixing the Meadowbrook Parkway and Loop Parkway bridges. Well, the Knicks are getting ready to host Game 3 tonight. The team practiced yesterday ahead of their first finals game at MSG in 27 years. The Knicks have won 13 straight playoff games, including the first 2 of this championship series in San Antonio.
27 years since the last finals game in this building. I know our fan base is really excited, as they should be. But as a team, us inside the locker room, we have more work to do.
The Game 3 tip-off is set for 8:30 tonight. A lot of people excited about that. Let's talk about your forecast. We've got meteorologist Jeff Vanson here. How are we looking for this Monday, Jeff?
Really nice out there, Macy.
Awesome.
A little bit of a different feel today. We had summer temperatures over the weekend. We had some summer humidity. We had some storms also on Saturday night. We'll talk about those just to quickly recap. But yeah, 84 degrees yesterday. Some spots did get a little bit warmer. And there was a bit of humidity in the air, a couple of pop-up showers as well. Let's take a look outside and show you what I'm talking about. Just fantastic at Tiana Beach this morning out in Hampton Bays. Water conditions going to be a little choppier today, but you can see really nice waves, probably about 2 to 3 feet. We'll have your beach forecast coming up. All right, almanac from yesterday. Yeah, 84 degrees at Islip, normally 75. So we were running about 10 degrees warmer than normal yesterday. The record was 94 sit back in 1999, so nowhere near that. Here are your storm reports from that Saturday batch of storms that barreled through right after sundown. Now, it was much worse out to the west across New Jersey and New York City. And you can see those storm reports kind of fizzled out by the time they got into Suffolk County. But Nassau, yeah, bearing the brunt, especially up towards the North Shore. You heard the Oyster Bay branch losing service. We had some thunderstorm wind damage with branches down over in East Hills. Plain Edge, we had trees down on Bethpage State Parkway. And then even into western Suffolk, North Babylon, a large tree fell down on Deer Park Avenue. Those wind gusts were around 60 to 65 miles per hour as they came through. Look at the 2 major airports here, 64 for LaGuardia, 60 down at JFK, and 64 in Glen Cove as well. But then you can see, started to see those numbers drop into the 40s. But it was certainly a very busy, really only about an hour, 90 minutes or so, and then everything quieted down, and you would not have even have thought that much happened. But certainly that was something to keep an eye on. Over your weekend forecast. High pressure in control now. It was a pretty nice day yesterday as well. Had a couple of pop-up showers, but nothing all that big of a deal. This high is very strong, so what's going to happen is it's going to hold this front off for, say about 48 hours. It's really going to take its time getting here. Clouds will start to come in tomorrow, generally high clouds. And Wednesday, I think, looks mostly okay in the morning, but then as we head into the afternoon, that front will arrive, and we will see some showers developing Wednesday night and maybe even lingering into Thursday, maybe a couple of wraparound thunderstorms as well. And then the warmth is going to return behind that front. Kind of the opposite of what happens usually when a cold front passes. The air gets cooler. That's not going to happen this time around. It's going to get warmer. And the dew points are going to go up. The dew points are much lower. Right now, about 50 to 55. They were in the 60s over the weekend. And then behind that front, again, the humidity increases as well as the temperature, so the dew points are going to go back up as well. We'll get that summer feel back in later this week. Beach forecast, it's nice today. It's a little bit cooler out there than it has been, but the UV index is high. The rip current risk is elevated as well, so some other factors to keep in mind. Again, later this week, the warmth is going to kick back in, and we'll see, I would say beach temperatures getting into the upper 70s, and that mugginess maybe make you want to dip in the water. But again, the water is cold this time of year, so keep an eye out for that. Mostly sunny skies today. Temperatures about 70 to 75 island-wide. Tomorrow, well, I should say tonight, first and foremost, going to be clear, cool, comfy out there. Open up those windows, save on that energy bill. And I don't think you'll need the AC much tomorrow as well. Maybe a few ticks warmer on the thermometer. Really, the muggy stuff comes later in the week behind that front. You see showers late there on Wednesday, and then on to Thursday, we'll see a couple of rumbles of thunder. Right now, the weekend, I don't think you can draw it up much better for a summer weekend. Temperatures in the 80s, and the sunshine returns.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Fire Island Ferries. Out East with Doug Geed is brought to you by Connect One Bank, a better place to be.
A nostalgia shop is drawing crowds on the North Fork. Let's head out east with Doug Geed to the Jamesport Country Store.
Along with the fancy resorts in the Hamptons and the new high-end restaurants on the North Fork, there's also a very unassuming spot on the East End that's been attracting tourists for more than 50 years. I'm Doug Geed, out east on Newsday TV. Let's pay a visit to the Jamesport Country Store.
I always say we play host to both local and traveling folks for their gift-giving needs.
It was 1973 when Howie Waldman's mother fulfilled her dream of opening a gift shop, moving from Bayshore to the North Fork and buying what was an old New York telephone switching station.
It was built in 1922.
In some ways, opening a gift shop on the East End in the early 70s was a gamble. Back then, the tourism season was basically just summer day trippers.
They always said after Labor Day, you could sleep out on the main road in a sleeping bag. You wouldn't have to worry about getting run over.
Boy, have things changed. Over the decades, millions of tourists and locals have passed by the store. Most of those who stop in are looking for a little slice of the area to take home.
We try and support the local artisans out here. The jams, the jellies. Local honey is a big item here. We sell a lot of vintage art, a well-known artist on the North Fork. T-shirts, sweatshirts.
Vintage signs are also a big seller.
We sell both original and, of course, reproduction signs. Yeah.
Is there a certain type that seems to sell most, whether it's...
Well, oil byproduct signs and, of course, Coca-Cola stuff, Just any kind of advertising sign is very popular.
Retro candies are a big draw here. Jelly beans, candied buttons, Mary Jane's. You might recall Goldenberg's Peanut Chews, which used to be produced here on Long Island.
People ask me what's the busiest month. It's not the summertime, it's December. It's the local people who support us.
You must get a ton of people who say, I've driven by here 1,000 times.
I hear that all the time, yeah. And they say that this is the first time they've been in, and I always say to them on the way out, well, don't wait 53 years to come back. I won't be here.
In Jamesport for Newsday TV, I'm Doug Geed.
Well, for information about visiting the Jamesport Country Store and to see more Out East with Doug Geed segments, go to Newsday.com, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Only a Newsday, new opposition to the immigration crackdown some Catholics say is separating families and terrorizing their community. Virginia Huey explains.
I think we have to look for ways of treating people humanely, treating people with the dignity that they have.
Pope Leo has strongly condemned the Trump administration's mass deportations and immigration crackdowns. Here on Long Island, advocates for the migrant community looking to Bishop John Bars to follow Pope Leo's lead on immigration say they haven't seen it.
I haven't seen a single word that he said about what's happening.
Richard Kubek of Dix Hills says Bishop Bars, who leads 1.2 million Catholics in one of the largest dioceses in the nation, has been largely silent on the hot-button issue.
We're all disappointed.
Jim Morgo of Bayport says Bishop Bars should take a stand on mass deportations.
It makes no distinction between the worst and the best of the best.
Morgo and Kubek are now launching their own grassroots effort to educate and mobilize parishioners to oppose the immigration crackdown. They call their new group Catholics Welcome Immigrants.
This is an unusual case where lay people are taking the reins and saying, you know, we want our voice to be clear, and we want Catholic people to be part of this movement.
Kubek and Morgo decided to launch the effort after they collected more than 500 signatures of local Catholics from nearly 90 parishes on a petition asking Bishop Bars to meet with some of them or speak out on the issue. They say he failed to do either.
I think we thought it would be a different reaction. It wasn't, but that's not going to stop us.
Bishop Bars declined to be interviewed by Newsday, but in a statement the diocese said in part, he speaks often in homilies and addresses to gatherings of the faithful and clergy about the need for engagement and outreach for our Hispanic brothers and sisters, and frequently visits with immigrant communities.
Well, that's not enough.
Kubek and Morgo hope to start training parishioners this summer on how to use a toolkit to plan prayer services, publish bulletin inserts, reach out to new immigrants, and advocate for just government policies.
If you get the word out, people can be aware, call their members of Congress, call their senators, and say there should be respect for their human dignity.
For Newsday TV, I'm Virginia Huey.
You can read more about this grassroots effort on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. See more on all of the stories you've seen today on Newsday.com and watch us streaming anytime on Local Now, YouTube, and the other streaming services you see there. I'm Macy Eglund here with meteorologist Jeff Banson. We've got more local news, your forecast coming up here on Newsday TV, covering Long Island like no one else can.
No one covers the East End like Doug Geed on Newsday TV.
A lot of Long Islanders say they prefer fall over summer, but they still want to enjoy the outdoors.
Explore the hidden and not so hidden gems of the North and South Fork.
This sprawling property on the North Fork has certainly changed over the centuries, but it's been farmed by the same family all those years.
On Out East with Doug Geed at newsday.com/outeast.